Brain Candy Podcast, episode 695.
695, feeling.
Here we are, feeling alive.
Only 5 more episodes left.
Till lucky number 700.
700. How are we going to celebrate?
Feels like just yesterday we were smoking doobs for episode 420.
That's right. That was so fun.
That really was.
Susie getting an instruction on how to inhale.
I still am confused about that. I can't believe everybody knows how to do that, and it's come so naturally to so many people.
It doesn't. That's why everybody coughs and it like makes a fool of themselves.
Yeah, but they at least, I think, fully get it inside their body.
Yeah, but I didn't like the first. I can remember when I was living in England, and some of the guys there were like trying to get me to do it, and I would just like put it in my mouth and then like hold my breath, and they were like, "No, it like suck, like put it in your lungs." I was like, and then I did, and then I got kicked out of McDonald's for laughing too hard.
You were smoking doobies in McDonald's?
I was smoking doobies outside of McDonald's.
Oh, I see.
And then went into McDonald's and thought that the Cadbury Egg McFlurry was the funniest thing I had ever seen in my life. So I was like, it's like an egg, but in a milkshake, but not an egg. And I couldn't stop. And in hindsight, it was not funny. And I should have.
I can't believe they kicked you out.
Yeah, well.
They are the ones that say you're loving it. I mean, you were just loving it.
I was just loving it. How dare they kick me out for my joy?
Yeah. I really am. You must have been really rowdy.
Yeah, probably. You know, speaking of fast food places, ever since we did our episode on the soda and how soda is different, I don't know if it's in my head. I don't know if this is all made up, whatever. I can definitely taste the difference. And now I refuse to drink any soda that is not from a fountain machine.
Really?
Yeah, like that canned stuff, the stuff in the bottle. Blech.
Yeah, the bottle is obviously the bottom rung.
And you'd be surprised at how difficult it is now to find a can at a regular like gas station or
they're not
store.
into those.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm.
What's up with that?
Yeah, it must be something to do with the way it's stored in those.
Yeah.
What do you call them? Refrigerators?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it makes no sense because cans are superior to plastic bottles.
In a bunch of ways.
Well, glass bottles are great,
noise.
but they aren't available anywhere. I don't know what the problem is with those either.
Yeah. So I tried it. I've been hooked on fountain drinks. I might even go to the Golden Arches.
Oh my God. I love it. I'm loving it.
The soda. Yeah. And I think ever since you said that you were off the sauce.
Yeah.
It was like, oh no, now I've doubled. Now I'm like drinking
passed
for 2.
the torch. Yeah.
For
drinking
sure.
For 2. Remember when I was pregnant and I had to buy alcohol for like a party and I said I was drinking for 2 and the cashier did not think it was funny.
Oh my God.
That's a great joke.
It's an amazing joke, Susie. And the sad part is like, I have a friend who used to work at like Bevmo, one of those like beverage, like big discount kind of stores, like for alcohol. And everybody probably knows what Bevmo is, and I didn't need to explain that. Anyways, here we are. And she said it was so depressing because she would see the people who would come in regularly.
Yeah.
As soon as they open. And so I bet she got, and whoever this cashier was that you were making jokes with had a
they didn't think it was a joke.
Yeah. She saw too much, maybe that was too real and too close to what you're actually joking about.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because it's only funny if it's absolutely no chance of happening.
Right.
Yeah,
but
right.
If that's like, oh yeah, you and the lady before you, like, like, I don't know.
Well, I will say right outside the store, because in Pennsylvania, you have to buy wine at a separate store.
Same in Colorado. Ugh.
And right outside the wine store was one of those parking spaces that was for new and expectant mothers. So,
no.
Yes.
That seems
I took a picture
unnecessary.
Right.
There.
They're just asking for it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Don't make it convenient.
Don't. That's really funny, but not funny, but also funny.
Yes. Yes.
If you or anybody you know struggling with alcoholism, now I sound like the challenge.
I don't think that anyone that was doing that would make the joke.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, remember when I got pulled over on Susie and I, for you guys who don't know this story, Susie and I were out one night in Los Angeles and we were drinking very responsibly. In fact, I remember you saying, do you want one more? And I was like, no, I'm driving home. So I was like following the rules, being super good. On my way home, driving back to Orange County, I get pulled over for having no light above my license plate. And then
that's how they get you.
Totally how they get you. And then they were like, okay, we're going to do a field sobriety test on you too. I'm so nervous.
Of course.
Oh my gosh. Because I'm thinking like people go like down for it. I don't know what's happening. Could there be something wrong? Like, what if I make a mistake? What if I like...
You seem drunk when you're stone cold sober.
100%. I have heard this multiple times. People have left reviews on our podcast and This Changed Everything. We're like, is Sarah drunk? And I'm like, it's 9 a.m. I am not drunk. This is just regular. This is unmedicated Sarah. Yeah, that's just me. Standard issue. So when he did that, when I had to get out of the car, I thought to myself, okay, what would somebody who's definitely not drunk say? Like if I were drunk, I would try to be very sober. Yes. So and I would try to like pretend, I don't know, that. So instead I just told the cop, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I just kept talking about how nervous I was. I was like, this is so ridiculous. I don't know why I'm so nervous right now, but I am. And it was fine. And it turns out and they did the breathalyzer. They did everything on me. And then the cop, which I feel like this is kind of fucked up. The cop said that he put me through that because they were training the other cop he was with.
No way. They should hire people for that.
Yeah, they should have like
crazy.
Put me like that. Felt like, you know, when you do when you take part in an experiment, they have to like debrief you and then make sure that you don't have any lasting effects. I feel like I was just like, I feel like I was just put through an experiment, and then they just like sent me on my way. And I remember them saying like, do you know how to get back to the freeway? And I said yes, but really I did not. And I was like not about to follow them.
You can't admit that you don't know where you are.
Wrong turn and then go whoop 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 and pull me over again. Like I could imagine that would be my luck, that I'd get pulled over and then be let go and then make a fucking mistake as I'm pulling away from the situation.
Right, because they always do wait and they like follow you. Yeah.
And
I don't like it.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's just say Sarah has white privilege, so this
100%
would have been so much worse for somebody who is not white.
Yeah.
But now I wonder if police really do realize how scary it is to be pulled over, or they forgot, or what, because it's stressful.
It is. If I see a cop, if I drive past one, I don't know what it is. I have this, you know, again, I'm a white person. Like I couldn't even, I'm scared. I'm like, they're definitely following me.
You know how my biggest fear is being buried alive? Correct. My second biggest fear is ending up in prison.
Like wrongfully accused.
Not even. Like I always think, well, no, because you know how
some like you could control, Susie. You know, just like don't murder.
But sometimes I read things where I'm like, that could happen to anybody. And now they're going to, like, for instance, the train derailment, not in America, but in Europe recently, where the person that was operating the railway gave the wrong order to the conductor. And so the conductor went away he shouldn't have. And then all these people died. And so now that person that gave the order is probably going to go to jail for years because of manslaughter and stuff, or whatever the law would be. Yeah. And I just think, I know that's going to happen to me, where it's like, you didn't mean to, but then whoops, a daisy.
I will do everything in my power to prevent you from accidentally murdering anyone and never put you in a situation where you'll have like a trolley car dilemma.
A literal, right?
Like a literal trolley car dilemma.
I'll tell you what's not a dilemma, and that is knowing what kind of bedding to buy, because I have Boll and Branch.
Done.
I was making my bed. I had cleaned my sheets. I do it every Sunday. And I was putting my sheets back on. And I just wanted to shout out Boll and Branch, because they're one of the few sheets I've ever owned that are actually deep enough.
Oh, nice.
They all claim that they're going to be deep enough, and then they aren't. And I'm like always trying to like, stretch it.
Yeah.
That last corner.
Yeah.
But these, it was perfect. And as you know, I already told you, they get softer after every wash.
Yes.
Really.
Here's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Sometimes white bed sheets, it feels like you're getting tissue paper or they're super see-through.
Yeah.
This is really, really great quality fabric. I mean, the kind of fabric that does get better after each wash.
Man. Mm-hmm. I love it too. And it's made without toxins. There's none of the harsh chemicals or anything like that. And they label top and bottom. It just makes making your bed a pleasurable experience, and sleeping in it even better. Make the most of bedtime with Boll & Branch sheets. Get 15% off your first order when you use promo code BRAINCANDY at bollandbranch.com. Exclusions apply. See site for details. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com. Promo code BRAINCANDY.
Okay. So let's talk about some fun things that I read this week. What do you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Question for you.
Yes.
Is I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Yes.
Is oral sex?
No.
Oh! Okay. This is... Oh, I'm so glad I picked this study. So you are... Well, I
Wrong.
guess... No.
Oh.
You're not the only one. A recent poll of, I think it was about 1,000 people who were asked this question, polled by this data analytics company called YouGov. They asked, is cunnilingus, which YouGov described as licking out.
Oh, God.
I have the biggest problem with.
Yeah, that is disgusting.
Yeah, excuse me. So they describe it as licking out, and this is for I guess this is how they used to say it in Britain. Like this is a survey that was conducted in England, but the person who wrote this article talking about this said that, like, what, have they not updated their sexual terms since like 1992? Like we call it other things now.
Heavy petting.
Yeah. Yes, right. Exactly. That's exactly like the version of like cunnilingus, like.
Well,
so
also, why are you only talking about cunnilingus and not fellatio?
Both. I just asked you because I said oral sex, and cunnilingus or
so
fellatio.
They included both.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
And 44% of people counted it as sex, and everybody else did not.
What do you say?
I would.
Well, I mean, it is in the name. You have that going on your side. I mean,
right.
It's called oral sex. But I mean, would you say if someone had only had oral sex, are they still a virgin?
Susie. I did not even think about that. Because I look at it as, what if somebody doesn't have the ability to have penetrative sex for whatever reason? Are they not having sex?
Yeah, they're not having sex, Sarah. I'm sorry. Oh they're just getting a little licked out, as you call it. They're
getting licked out. Wow, this is okay. So there was more of a breakdown in different age groups and in genders and things like that. So I thought it would be interesting to share with you guys.
Let's hear it. Is this old people or like me?
Yes. No, people are not like you. Okay, here we go. So over 50% of people said that oral sex and stimulation with hands and fingers counted as having sex. 45% of older respondents said that hand jobs do count as sex versus only 23% of people aged 18 to 49.
I'm so sure a hand job.
If you're old, hand job counts as sex.
Then we're just making things up. Then words don't mean anything if a hand job is sex.
Right. Well, according 45% of people 50 and above counted it.
Gosh, come on. You're really reaching. Literally.
Yeah, towards a old dick. Oral sex performed on women was also more likely to be seen as having sex by older people, with 54% saying it counted versus only 34% of people under 50.
I can see that one a little more because a lot of women can only have an orgasm that way. So I could see why you could think that was.
And legit. So what this does, like why we even research this, if you're wondering like why the heck we even ask these questions, is when you can look at surveys like this and get a response of like, what does the general population think? You can change the current definition of things like sex. So the current definition of sex is sexual intercourse involving penetration, oral sex, or any other activity with another person, typically culminating in orgasm, which they note now might not be an adequate description.
Okay, but that says penetration, but it also says or. So you're saying in definition wise, then you guys, the other people are right. I'm wrong.
In definition, the other people, and you know where I think this might matter is with like an assault case or something like that. Absolutely. Where there needs to be an umbrella where there isn't somebody who says, oh, well, I only licked her out
you're right.
and I didn't rape her. That feels like if you did that across the board, that counts as sexual assault, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely sexual assault.
Yeah.
I think that they call it, like I remember with the Harvey Weinstein stuff where he would like force women to do that to him. I think they called it oral rape or something.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. That would be.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important to include that term there.
Yeah. In terms of trauma, there's no differentiating, but just in terms of like traditional sexual encounters, I would say oral is not. But that's probably, you know how like when you grow up in a conservative religious tradition, there's often this thing where like you do everything.
Yes. But
yeah, so that could be where I adopted that
protecting from. The sanctity of sex in marriage through like
like you
can lick her out all you want.
Lick out, baby.
Lick out. That's what could be the title of this episode. Lick out. Like look out, but
make a note.
Okay, some other things, some other interesting numbers that came out.
Wow, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gay and bisexual men were much more likely to consider blowjobs as having sex.
I'm shocked.
57%. While lesbian and bisexual men were also more likely to say that cunnilingus counted as full sex. 54%.
Well, I'm sure they do.
Right.
I mean, that really adds up for me. Because if you don't have a wiener.
Right.
I mean, sure, you can use other things to penetrate, but.
Like in a lesbian relationship, licking out, I can't stop saying it, is 100% sex to me. But then why is it not in a heterosexual relationship?
Well, because there is a limit on penetration if there is no wiener.
Well, man, you can get one.
You can get one, but it's not there's no wiener. You have to add something to the equation.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. I get the debate, but
so
I'm sticking with my answer.
So penetrative sex is sex. B-hole or V.
B-hole or V.
But if you penetrate in anywhere from the waist up, it stops being sex.
Yeah.
And now
you disagree
sexual.
Or you agree? Because what if I just went like this? Like, what if I just licked it? Is that sex?
We get a video clip of that right there. That was my favorite ever. If anybody's wondering how Susie licks out, we now have video evidence.
Yes, if this microphone were a wiener and I just sort of put my tongue on it, but I didn't put the
wiener
whole thing
would be dissatisfied. The microphone would be dissatisfied.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, where do you draw the line? It's got to be inserted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But a hand job, I would agree.
That's ridiculous.
Not sex.
Yeah. Rim job, not sex.
What? the most. I've never done that ever.
Nor should you. Why is anyone doing that?
I was like, this mouth.
Her mouth is a rim virgin.
Yes. And it's going to stay that way because I have too good of an imagination.
What does that mean? Because you can think about what happened there earlier.
All the things. Yes. and too many thoughts inside my, I can't.
Looks like as we approach the 700s, it's like low hanging fruit around here.
Suze, it doesn't get better because the other stories I have are about penis size again. I was like thinking, I'm like, either something happened to my algorithm or penis stories are the new poo stories. But I kind of gave you both.
Yeah, that was a twofer.
That was a twofer.
Well, you know what? You say it's going downhill, but it isn't because we're about to talk about modern fertility, which is related to SEX.
Yes, absolutely. I was just talking to my friend who was staying in my house the other day, and she was telling me that she has a bunch of questions about things that are going on in her body. Yeah. And the doctor's like, if you want these tests, you're going to just have to get them done and pay out of pocket. She showed me what the bill was to do it. Oh, thousands.
Isn't it insane?
I was like, no, I got an answer.
Yes, you do.
Sent her that link in 2 seconds.
That's so good.
That was exactly like, doctors are like, if you want the answers and we're going to charge you for it if it's
right.
If you just want to know about your body.
Yeah, if you just want to know about your own body. And that's why modern fertility is a no-brainer because you can find out all those answers for a fraction of the price. And all you have to do is send off your sample. And in a few days, you have all those answers. Fast. And it is comprehensive.
And people to support you to help you understand what those answers even mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you have questions, you can consult with them as well. So that's amazing. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in savings.
Yeah.
modernfertility.com/braincandy is the URL. Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy. That means your test will cost $159, which is a fraction of what it would cost at a fertility clinic. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy, modernfertility.com/braincandy. And as I said on our other show, they also have, like you said, sperm.
Yes.
Testing.
Sperm testing kits.
Ozempic, I'm just saying. If you want to take off a few pounds. So there's other things that they have on there as well. Okay. Let's hear it, Sarah.
The penis story. Okay, let me get that. Yeah. Might as well. Okay, this is like penis story, but like classy penis story, okay?
Okay.
It's there. I don't know. Also, again, who are these researchers? Every time I'm like, well, researchers looked at. I wish I knew who these people were. Just give me the pictures. I want to know. Yeah. Researchers were interested in seeing how penis size has changed and how it's been depicted in art over the course of history. So they looked at art made from the 1400s to modern time. And the findings are interesting. Penis size has definitely on average grown in its depiction in art. And one of the more interesting parts of this, well, I want to connect it to two things we've already talked about. One, I want you to keep in your mind, remember that story we talked about on how breast size has grown?
Yeah.
So keep that in the back of your mind. And so the other part that I really wanted to share with you is how they did this and how they studied because you can't just measure it. You can how are you going to do it? And the hardest part was deciding what's the scale? So because is the man's penis gigantic or maybe he's just standing next to his tiny horse? So they needed something to
It's all about perspective.
Yeah, it's all about perspective. So what they used to measure it was the penis to ear ratio or penis to nose ratio. And given that they are equivalent according to the golden ratio in art, it gave a number that could be compared across time periods.
That is genius.
Totally. Right. That's the part I was like, this feels like the part of the story that's the interesting part to tell you, is that we keep this golden ratio of like ear size, nose size, penis size, and they have to all, in a way, using this golden ratio in art, be balanced. And when you look at the ratio, which provides a number less than 1 would mean that the penis size was depicted as smaller than the owner's ear and nose, and a number 1 would be that they were equal, and a number greater,
not in length, but in scale, like
in scale,
the ratio. Yeah, okay. Because it's not as if it's the size of the nose; it's proportional. That's what you're saying.
I don't know. Let me read it to you how it's written, and you tell me.
Okay.
This gave a number that can be compared across time periods, with a number less than 1 meaning that the penis size was depicted as smaller than its owner's ear or nose, and 1 being equal sizes.
Wow.
Anna says that's like, which also, that's like a huge.
I hope their ears are real big.
Yeah, I wonder. Now I want to look at all noses and all ears in art. So there was a sudden increase in penis size over the last century. We saw it in the 1500s. It was close to 1, 0.9. In the 1600s, it was 0.96. In the 1700s, it was 1.00024. Then it dropped down a little bit in the 1800s. And then 1900 to now, boop, jumped up from 1.2 to 1.57, starting from 2000 and on. So that means that now we depict a penis as 1.5 times the man's nose size,
or
like 50%
proportionally larger. 50% bigger than it was. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you think accounts for that? Did they theorize?
So they kind of left it open, and there were a few things that popped into my head. A few things that popped up. At first I wanted to say that this is our fascination with like penis size and value in penis size. But then if you look back in ancient cultures, like they've always used even like penises in art as a symbol of fertility. And so that like, and sometimes almost like I've seen in Thailand, I went to a cave that just had a bunch of wood penis statues in it, and they were like comically large. It was like the ratio would have been like 100 to 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected this last century to be markedly different.
Right. That's what I'm wondering is, what is it in the last century? What is it since the 1900s, and especially since 2000s? There is the suggestion in the article that pornography may have been something that influenced this.
Yeah.
And that is what then made me think about the breast size and the change in what we've seen in like comic book characters, and how there's been almost this like we've sexualized.
But the reason that wieners in porn tend to be big is because of the existing perception that is sexy and sort of like desirable. Mm-hmm. So it's a reflection of an existing cultural attitude, which I would think would already exist in artwork.
I would think too.
Yeah. Especially in terms of like masculinity and strength and power. And like, I
wonder how it would change if you took into account erotic art and like regular old art, because they have erotic art from freaking Roman Empire. You can look at like,
maybe they had like big old.
Yeah. So I wonder if what art, okay, now I have follow-up questions. What art pieces are you looking at? Are these like, if we were to compare erotic art from now to erotic art then, do you actually see a size? Maybe it's just the flaccid penis size that we are.
Yeah, because if you're comparing porn with art, then it seems like apples and oranges. What if we take them at their conclusions at face value, and the reason that now the penis in art is growing is because women's equality has increased. And so they're like, responding
just a reminder.
Yeah.
We still got big dicks.
Yeah. Like we're the in the hierarchy and social order, we are still above you. I don't know.
This theory.
Something like that.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. And then I would want to see, is it different for female artists and male artists?
Yeah. Well, good luck finding out, because that's one of the main things I keep hearing about museums is they are just not getting there with representation for women created art.
Even now?
Yeah, even now. They're like they say that they're trying and they're putting forth more effort, but the numbers aren't really reflecting that.
That's too bad. I mean, like I understand that it's difficult to do a like art show or art exhibit on art of the past that has been created by women, but there are fucking female artists everywhere.
Yeah.
Come on. You just have to look a little harder.
I am seeing with a lot of orchestras and symphonies that they are trying to include pieces by composers that are female from back in the day, because they exist. You just have to really find, they didn't have the same platform or whatever, but they're trying
that would be a really interesting thing to. I just want to hear music written by
I know. Wouldn't that
women.
Be nice?
I can't believe that that's something I even get excited. I'm like, wow, that would be really nice to go listen to a concert of music written by women, like from
back in the day.
The bar is low, people.
Well, regardless of how big the wieners are, though, in art, you can find them whatever size you want in Dipsy.
Yeah. Whether you want to hear about wieners, whether you want to hear stories about, like, I don't know, what happens with those wieners. And
whatever you're into, Dipsy Stories has got you covered. You can go on and just take a little quiz, and it will help them know what it is that you desire. Maybe you want soothing stories, or maybe you want really sexy, hot, and heavy stuff. I don't know what you're into, people. Look, I don't judge.
I will share my own little personal testimony with this. It is often really hard for me, surprise, surprise, to focus and to stop my mind from being 1,000 places at once. That is especially difficult when I am trying to be intimate. And I don't want to be thinking.
Well, that's a common thing for women.
Totally. Like, I don't want to be thinking about everything. So I find that it's almost like pre-gaming.
Totally.
Sexual pre-gaming.
It can get you in that mode.
It just helps me to get to a place of calm where I can be relaxed enough and my mind can be clear enough to focus on what's happening in the moment.
And who doesn't need that? New content is released every week on Dipsy Stories. And they, like I said, they have sleep stories, wellness stories, sexy stories, explore your fantasies, whatever you want to do. It's your business. For listeners of the show, Dipsy is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipsystories.com/braincandy. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to DIPSEA stories.com/braincandy, dipsystories.com/braincandy. Well, interesting though about this artwork.
Yeah.
I love that we often explore this stuff and then we just have more questions.
Yeah, so many more questions. They did say in the study that they used, and I'm sure if I were to look at the actual article itself, it would have the paintings listed, because they say 232 paintings from 21 countries, which were suitable for the study. They do say that there was a European bias.
Oh, that's always true.
Always true.
Nice of them to admit it.
Yes. And that also any depictions of erect penises were rejected.
Okay, so they weren't going for erotic.
No, everything that was kind of filtered out of there.
Okay.
Now, yeah, it is. But that golden ratio, now I'm going to look at people's ear size, and I'm going to look at people's, I'm always
so, like, you think, like, if they have a big schnoz, they have a big schlong.
Yeah, and both of those are fun to say.
So true.
And so this does leave me with more questions. We really need like some like medical intern who just like sits on the side and goes, nope, not correct. Like I really do. Because now I want to ask, you know how they say like your nose and your ears keep growing your whole life?
Yes, I know.
Does it keep growing?
I've never heard that.
Well,
but it is like, a similar material.
Yeah. And maybe is it like, I just have questions.
Is that so wrong?
Is that so wrong? I just want to get to know a dick.
But do you think that's actually true about the noses and ears?
Yeah, I do.
Have you seen old people's
ears?
I know, but it just doesn't make sense. Why would they keep growing?
I don't know. Why would they keep growing? It has to do with probably cartilage. No, I don't know. I'm making that up again. Cartilage. I was like,
that's what people say, though.
Shit.
Like that's the word they use.
Oh, my God. So, see, if I pretend to know things enough, it's like a broken clock is right twice a day. My favorite is that now we have all these video clips coming out. Wrong in a lot of those. People love, like, post all those. I'm just wrong all the time. It's fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but that's to our credit, really, because we talk about so many categories. Yeah. There's absolutely no way we could know it all.
And that's why I had to do our spin-off show, because things we got wrong, because we get a lot of shit wrong.
From the, what do they say? Shoot from the hip. That's what we do.
And excuse me, but I just saw an article today that said a team, like a father-son team, like these two orca whales have been on a killing spree, and they killed 17 sharks. So
wow,
you mean to tell me that they don't every now and then
throw in a dolphin? Exactly.
I just feel like I wasn't entirely incorrect with that, and if I was, I apologize. Okay, what else do I have to share with you?
Yeah, what else?
You want to know how much saliva you're going to produce in your lifetime?
Oh yeah,
dude, it's disgusting.
Ew.
How much would you guess? Let me put it oh God.
Well, how much is in a day, do you think?
That's a perfect question to start with. On a normal day, the average person produces between 0.5 and 1.5 liters, which is more than a pint of milk.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Yep.
Let's say it's 1 liter a day.
Yeah.
How many days are you alive?
Well, 365 a year. We could start with that.
That is a lot of saliva.
Suze, on average, in your lifetime of 80 years, like let's just take a low average and say like 0.7 liters per day. I mean, you have a little cotton mouth every now and then because you like smoke weed. That equals around 255.5 liters of saliva a year. Over an average lifetime of 80 years, that comes to about 20,440 liters, which would be the equivalent to a small swimming pool full of saliva. Oh! Oh! Which would you rather swim in? Oh. Pool of pee?
Yeah.
Sauna of saliva.
Sauna. How do you swim in a sauna?
Well, you got to bait. You're just like cooking it. You're just like simmering in a sauna of saliva or paddling in a pool of piss.
Do I have to submerge my head in the pool?
Excellent question. You don't. You can head up.
Oh, then I would choose the pee pool.
For texture, huh?
For texture. And also, like, if I'm in a sauna, it's going everywhere.
Oh, wait, like not sauna. The what do you call it? Spa, like a jacuzzi.
Oh, a hot tub.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of that. I said the wrong word. I just needed something that started with an S.
Oh, okay, then I choose that one.
Jacuzzi of spit. So it's like jacuzzi. Warm and bubbly. When you put on the bubbles, it starts making spit bubbles. I did not mean for this to get as disgusting. I told you I had a good imagination. Do you see why I don't give rim jobs? Could you imagine what my mind is doing then? We're just talking about spit here, people.
Oh, stop it. You see why I don't give rim jobs? Yeah, I get it. I totally do.
I listen to
Oh
a
my
lot of
God.
gypsy stories to get my mind clear of that imagination.
Did you choose the jacuzzi too? Or are you
No,
choosing the
I'm gonna
pool?
choose the pool of pee.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe
I'm
I
with
should
you.
switch.
Because you know what? Sanitary.
Good point.
Totally like that, right?
I mean,
Like
it's not
pee is
sanitary, but
more, isn't it?
yeah, what has more bacteria, pee or
Oh,
saliva? I think it's a
definitely,
draw.
definitely saliva. Are you kidding me? Saliva has everything that's disgusting in it. And
No, because pee is everything your body can't even absorb.
where's that doctor medical intern? Where are you?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
But you know what? My logic was like, you know how in every public pool you're in, you are in pee, period.
yeah. And
And
every
sometimes
jacuzzi
period
you're
pee.
in, yeah. Ah! And every time we're in the jacuzzi, I'll try to like splash Eli, or there'll be like some bubbles, and I'll like put the bubbles on him and everything. And he's like, old people's skin, and it's like people's skin. Because you know how you see that like film, and he's right. And so like I put my head under the water, and like I don't know, if I opened my mouth or something, or somehow I got water, and he would not kiss me for the rest of the day. He was like, "No, you have disgusting people's skin on your mouth." And you know what? He's not wrong.
Yeah, hot tubs are pretty disgusting.
Yeah, and then people like get gross things from them, and like there's a really fancy, I don't even want to call it out because what if they're our future sponsor? I don't know. There's a really fancy like ski resort, a club kind of thing that you could become a member to, and like a whole bunch of people got some funky infection from their hot tub.
Oh no.
I know.
What kind of infection?
I don't know. I don't have any details on that story. I just read it and was like, glad I didn't buy a membership there.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more frequently.
Yeah. I think maybe the only reason they were able to catch it was because it's like when you have a membership, you're probably going frequently and you're able to identify, and like a bunch of people had the same thing. So they could probably narrow it down where it came from versus like if you just go on a vacation to some like hotel, wherever, and then, you know.
Yeah, you don't know the source.
Right. You know?
It's disgusting.
Or like you're in a bunch of hot tubs that week. Ugh! Anyways, that's disgusting. Thought you'd like that.
Definitely. Yeah, I do. And we definitely do need a doctor on staff, but I'll tell you who probably does have doctors on staff, and that's Nutrafol, because they are doing the Lord's work, getting hair to grow. I
guarantee you that is approved, like doctor approved, like thumbs up. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was just recommended it. I was talking to my doctor about the issue with, my stylist. I was just telling a story to make him laugh. And that's what they said. Well, you got to do Nutrafol. And I'm like, duh, I'm doing it. I'm already
go. Doesn't that feel good when you feel validated by like your own doctor who's like, oh, do this thing that you're already doing. Okay, I will.
Yes, because it is so frustrating if you've had any kind of thinning or hair loss, because you feel like it's out of your hands. There's nothing you can do about it. But Nutrafol really does encourage hair growth, and it is clinically shown to improve the hair growth, the thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Okay? So if you are in the same boat as me, whether it's from hormones, pregnancy, or you have a bad stylist like I did, you can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code BRAINCANDY to save $15 off your first month subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time, plus free shipping on every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY.
Yes. I did notice your high pony that you had the other day.
Oh, yeah, you said that to me.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh.
So because if you look at it right at the root, all those inches at the head are from Nutrafol, and then I just have to keep growing it until the bad parts can be chopped off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, what else do I know about saliva that I wanted to share with you? This was interesting. The reason why it's that weird, funky texture is that it contains this enzyme that helps, called amylase, that helps break down starch. So that's why it's kind of got like that kind of sticky feeling sometimes.
Fine.
And then I didn't know this one, that your saliva also provides calcium and phosphate to help remineralize tooth enamel.
Yes, that's true.
Which is very important because now it's like all of a sudden my teeth all gave up on me. And now I have like 2 definite cavities. I had a really good run. 2 cavities, definite. And there's like 3 places that we're like trying to fight.
Wow.
Back like, it's like me versus.
Sarah has late onset tooth decay.
Yeah. What the hell? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
You got cocky.
I did. I 100% did. I was like flashing my pearly whites all over town. Like, look at these with no, and then.
But they say a lot of what happens to your teeth comes from your microbiome. So maybe it's a tummy thing.
Oh, God.
Maybe, you know, if it's stress or maybe you just.
Stress? Who has that these days?
So that can have an impact because some people have this microbiome that prevents them from getting cavities. So maybe you had that and then it changed. Yeah.
Susie!
Blowing your mind, I know. Because my brother has no cavities and I've always been like wanting to crack the case because he like mainlines Mountain Dew and stuff. I'm like, what is he doing? But maybe he has like amazing microbiome. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to look into that. I'm sure there's something I can spit in a tube and somebody can give me some answers. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Saliva, just in case you're wondering, consists of 99% water. Proteins, electrolytes, and digestive enzymes make up for that last 1%. But even though that last 1%, doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
I know, right? I would never have thought it was 99% just water. It seems like a lot going on in there.
Well, I mean, considering we're 75%.
Oh,
don't they say that?
A big percent. I know what you mean.
Yeah. And it feels like if you were to ask my body, what are you made up of? The number one answer wouldn't be water. It'd probably be like, I don't know, skin.
Yeah. It seems like I have a lot of bones.
Yeah. Bones.
Stuff.
Like not water. Okay. Do we have time for another story?
Let's see. Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We do. We have about 15 minutes at the most, you know?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. This is good. Susie's got to keep me in line. Okay. I have 2 more. I want to end with this one. So first we'll talk about this one. So I read an interesting story, I guess, or it was just like a little blurb that was about an interview that a former Apollo 14 astronaut gave. His name's Edgar Mitchell, and he was on Apollo 14. He was one of the like first men in space, really. And well, tell me what you think. So he's given a few interviews in the past that people have kind of dismissed as like, he's just kind of lost it. Like I don't really know like what's going on with him. Like, I hope he's okay. Mind you, this guy is a NASA astronaut. They don't just like let freaking dummies with psychological problems go to the moon.
Yeah, they're usually very stable-minded.
These are like the most stable people, right?
Yeah.
So he did an interview recently in the Mirror Online that said he claims that we have been visited by extraterrestrials who came to Earth to prevent nuclear war between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. And in the interview, he referenced this White Sands Missile Range facility in New Mexico, where the world's first atomic bomb, Trinity, was tested in 1945. And he said, White Sands was a testing ground for atomic weapons, and that's why the extraterrestrials were interested in it. They wanted to know about our military capabilities. My own experience talking to people has made it clear that the ETs had been attempting to keep us from going to war and to help create peace on Earth. He went on to say that there have been unnamed Air Force officers that told him that their missiles were frequently disabled or shot down by UFOs flying overhead. But then the article goes on to say like why aliens would use interstellar travel to come all the way down here and disable a few missiles is unknown. And some UFO experts said to me, this is just another case of UFO fantasy and speculation. And the article itself said, it's been a bit of a fall from grace for Mitchell since then. We wish him all the best and hope that at some point he returns to the real world with the rest of us. I think that's a little fucking rude. And I think, I don't know. I just feel like, what does he have to gain?
Yeah, like their response was outsized.
Yeah.
Like it was too much. They could have just been like, we're not familiar with what he's referring to. They could have done a like straight denial.
And
but
then you know how we've talked
insulted
about
him.
Yes. And you know how we talk about people from like how sometimes there's like this belief by, I don't know, futurists or people whose job it is to think about these kind of things that say, if we did get visited by anybody, it would be future versions of us. Don't you think future versions of us would definitely fucking try to stop a Cold War that they knew could have happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like for the same people who just a few months ago were like, oh yeah, aliens are definitely here and here's some video to prove it, to be like, oh, little space astronaut, you just go hope you get better. Like, he doesn't have any other signs of mental illness. He's not making any other wild claims. These are very sound in I just felt like the article was so dismissive that it almost was like you said, like too much.
Yeah, because when I'm listening to his description, to me it feels like not that I don't think aliens could have come and all this stuff, but the specificity is what actually made it not believable to me.
Really?
Yeah, because let's say aliens really did come to disarm whatever. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they don't speak English. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure we wouldn't know their intentions. Yeah, like, oh, here's why they're here, and it's Russia and the US. It's like too specific because maybe they did something, but we wouldn't know their motivation. And he gave motivation to these aliens.
Yeah. Interesting.
And
like too much detail. But like, why? For what purpose?
Well, maybe he is losing his marbles, but they don't have to insult him.
I guess so. Maybe. I don't know.
And maybe he does know something and then he like added to it and his brain went a little haywire.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a grain of truth.
Maybe. Oh gosh.
How old is he?
Like it's a good question. How old is he? I don't know. It didn't say in the article, but he was the 6th man on the moon.
Oh man.
So
it's so funny how like Buzz and Neil took all the fame.
Yeah.
If you're like the 3rd guy up there, nobody even knows who you are.
Nobody cares. He was the first person to hit a golf ball on the moon.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, his friend hit a golf ball. The other guy was with him. He threw a lunar scoop handle like a javelin. That was what he did.
That's nobody's going to remember that. That's too specific too.
You took a weird, like he did the equivalent of like threw his cell phone. You took a tool and you threw it. Like
maybe that's why ever since then he's gone downhill.
Yeah, he's like, oh, look at this, guys. And they're like, oh, what's going on? What's going on with old Mitchell over there? He's lost his marbles. God.
But they could have been nice about it. They could have just been like, you know what? He's done a lot of great things for NASA and we wish him well.
And I do think it's interesting that they didn't put his age in there or anything like that, or say anything about, I don't know, like his current health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, God bless him.
Yeah.
And like, maybe they were aliens. What the hell do I know?
Like, I just look at his picture in his little like astronaut suit and I'm just like, you look like a normal, regular guy. You don't look like I know you can't tell, but like.
Yeah, you can. I think about all the time how you said how, if somebody's really suffering with some mental health stuff, a lot of times one of the things that goes is like, hygiene. Hair. Yeah, like hair care, hygiene. Because think about on your worst day, like the worst day of your life, the last thing you care about is your hair or like your makeup or something. So those things are cues.
Yeah.
And they are shorthand for us to assess whether somebody's in their right mind or not.
Yeah. Hair usually gives it away.
But there is a real privilege to it because like that, remember that crypto guy, Sam Bankman-Friedman or whatever his name is? Friedman.
I don't
know. The one that like went to jail because.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah. He has that mop of hair. It's like so messy. And it's like that, or even how Zuckerberg wears a hoodie and still has all this respect. Like they can get away with a lot more, but like If you see a person of color that has that wild hair, that's like they're not keeping it up, then people make assumptions about their
privilege capacity. Again.
Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah.
Anyway, but you're saying he looks pretty put together.
Yeah, he looks like a normal, like regular guy. So I wonder.
Well, sorry, Mitch.
Okay. Well, that was kind of a bummer, I guess. So let me leave you with something that's a little happier.
Okay.
Sort of.
What is it?
You want to know why people are scared of clowns?
Okay.
So this was interesting. There is a team of researchers who are looking at these possible explanations of the phobia, and there have been academic studies on this before, but no study has specifically investigated the origins of where the fear came from. Like they'll look at what people say is scary about clowns, and we've talked a little bit about this on here, but they wanted to explore how common the fear was with adults, and then look at the severity of the fear, and then give them follow-up questions to talk about or figure out a little more about how this came to be and why this was developed and why people have this fear, which is called coulrophobia, Coulro phobia.
Okay.
Coulrophobia, we'll call it that. So this was an international sample that was done of almost 1,000 people between the ages of 18 and 77. And more than half of the respondents said that they were scared of clowns to at least some degree. 5% of them said that they were extremely afraid of them. And this percentage is down from this percentage is higher, I should say, than other phobias, the extremes of other phobias. So if you look at 1,000 people and ask them how many are afraid of animals, they'll say about 3%. If you ask them how many of you are scared of what was one, blood injections, about 3%. Heights, 2.8. Closed spaces like you, 2.2. Have like an extreme fear. Okay. And so it looks like clowns are twice as scary, like double the amount of reports say that they have an extreme fear of this. And they also found that women were more afraid of clowns than men. Could you have any ideas why that could be?
Well, clowns tend to be men. So I could see that maybe accounting for that.
And they did show that it decreased with age, that the fear of it, which kind of makes sense. So then that kind of points, that's a really good question that they don't have on here.
Okay.
I really like that question. So it kind of hints that there's probably something happening in childhood if it like gets less as you get old, like maybe the further away you are from the source, or like whenever this was created.
Okay.
So they did the follow-up questionnaire to the people who had reported at least some degree of clown fear, and they explored 8 different plausible explanations for where this came from. Number 1 was an eerie or unsettling feeling due to clowns' makeup, making them look not quite human. And a similar response is sometimes seen with dolls or mannequins. I think we've talked about this too, that point with like how much something looks like an animal or looks like a human and doesn't, where we start to like not trust it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably our brain sort of trying to make sense of something that's just off a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 2 was clowns' exaggerated facial features convey a direct sense of threat. Don't know how a big smile does that for you. Number 3, clowns' makeup hides emotional signals and creates uncertainty. Number 4, the color of clowns' makeup reminds us of death, infection, or blood injury and evokes disgust or avoidance. Number 5, clowns' unpredictable behavior makes us uncomfortable. Number 6, a fear of clowns has been learned from family members. Number 7 listed was negative portrayals of clowns in popular culture. And number 8 was, and this is not the order of their importance or order of like what people listed. This was the order that they wrote them down in the questionnaire as follows. And number 8 was a negative or a frightening experience with a clown. And we all remember Susie's frightening experience.
Wait.
You have that photo
when I was a kid,
yes, of that creepy ass clown who had like some very inappropriate saying on his button. It was basically like an advertisement for being a pedophile.
Totally.
Like, what is happening? So your answer would. So if we in that list, because I know you have like a slight fear of clowns.
No, I don't.
Not even a little bit.
No, I don't.
Why do I feel like this was a thing from a past episode? Maybe I just created it because of that photo. And
I should have.
I was like,
one.
You should have a fear of clowns.
So I like clowns.
They found that, believe it or not, a frightening experience with a clown had the lowest level of agreement.
Okay.
So that means
what was the highest?
The highest was hidden emotional signals in the makeup or in like their facial expressions, because like you couldn't read what they were saying.
Yeah,
which kind of freaks us out.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And also when you think about it, especially the ones when you pair it up with like It and like the clowns who are like murderous clowns, the smile in combo with the behavior, like what do they call it? Incongruent behavior to affect, I guess I would say, is very unsettling.
You know how last year or recently there was that wave of young girls who were developing Tourette's and tics and things like that after having watched influencers on TikTok who have that actual problem. And it sort of it became one of those psychosomatic things that can, like they talk about in that book, Sleeping Beauties, which I've been so glad I read that because it does help me understand these types of contagious things that happen to people just by seeing something. Because it's ideas can be implanted in your brain, and then you don't realize that that's the source, or your body is behaving in a way that you don't understand. It almost feels like this clown thing is similar in the sense that now it's a thing that people have phobia towards clowns. And so then it's almost like a contagious thing where then it's sort of like how everyone claims that their least favorite word is the word moist.
Right.
It's just sort of taken.
Have they heard of diarrhea? That's a way grosser word.
That is correct.
Yeah. That is the grossest word, period.
I would agree. And that's why, remember I said how
or mucus or yeast. I can keep going.
Yeast.
Yeast is the most disgusting word. And every time I like, bleh, I can't.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is just that I think this clown thing has an element of that now it's taken on a life of its own.
And then you get every now and then you get a little bit of like a scary clown movie that comes and reinforces it. And, remember a while back where there were those creepy clown people who were just walking around neighborhoods being all weird, like not even doing anything, but
and then
wandering around in like scary clown outfits.
John Wayne Gacy didn't help things either.
Oh, correct.
So there's been clowns have had a real bad string of luck. And their cars are too small.
and their handkerchiefs just never end.
Their shoes are too big.
That flower, gosh darn it, always squirting out water.
But that is interesting, Sarah. Thank you for sharing. You've taught us so much today.
I try to come with the facts.
It went from like a lot of X-rated content.
Oh, yeah.
To
dick.
Art, and then to clowns.
All over the place. And took you to space in between.
So, you're welcome, everybody. And if you want to pay us a favor back, you could leave us a 5-star review.
Yes.
You could join our Patreon for bonus content, patreon.com/braincandy. Or you could just follow us on social and say hi.
We love that.
We love you.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.